I was uh, I was studying the time schedule and for opening the track, and it was February, and the weather was really cold that year, and we needed a really strong break, and we just couldn't seem to get a break in the weather. And I called New Jersey up and said, "Listen, I'm not doing the general construction. I'm doing the electrical. However, I just want to let you know that I do not think you're going to make the 4th of July grand opening, which was major because the lieutenant governor was coming down and all this." And they said, "What do you mean we're not going to make it?" And I said, "There's just no way." And they said, "Well, in your expert opinion, how long will it take?" And I said, "It's going to take, or what's it going to take?" And I said, "It's going to take 2 shifts, maybe 3 shifts a day." Well, then they immediately responded. I said, "All right, then you got the second shift." I said, "Wait a minute, I'm doing all the electrical design and build and everything with my 60 men. How can I do this? I'm not a general contractor." They said, "You got to figure that out, and we'll try to get another shift down there, but you got it from now on." Oh boy, so I was able to go on and just get a little bit of sleep, come back in the day, do the design on the electrical, go back, get a little sleep, and then come back and do the night shift. And I had about 8 or 10 guys on the night shift. Well, my 8 or 10 guys, now we actually lived in a house right on the property now because the owner of the track bought this house and said, "We'll get you as close as we can get you to the track." And so I'm doing the track at night, and I haven't got the expertise, so I'm praying. Now you say, "Well, how in the world is God involved with a racetrack that's connected with mafia and all this stuff?" Look it, I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is my life was turned over to God in order for God to bring about this new thing He's trying to do in my life as far as supporting missions wherever it is in the world. So one night or one morning, someone gave me a call and it said, "Listen, you're never going to get this done." And I said, "What's wrong?" This was somebody that knew me from the day crew. And they said, "Well, the one that is in charge of the night is upset that you guys came in and you're doing so much work with 18 guys. And these guys got like 30 to 40 men and they're not even keeping up with you." So I found out that the lead man came out of New York and he had a drinking problem and he was really jealous and angry at how much work we were doing. What he did, he went and measured every wall that we put in that night, and he found a wall that was out 1 inch. The doorway was out 1 inch. And he told his men, "This is out an inch. I want it all taken down." And so I called New York and I said, "Listen, I'm out of here. I'll go back to the electrical. Can't do this anymore." And I explained. Before I even got off the phone, hardly, I got another call back from New York. They said, his name was Jack. They said, "Jack is no longer a problem. He's on his way back to New York." And I knew what that meant. And they said, "Well, what do you mean?" They said, "You're in charge of everything right now, and we will get a man down there as soon as we can get him down there." Now, here I've got at that time, it was like a $25 million project. I'm in charge of everything, 300 men, and I don't have the expertise. All I did is say, "Father, I am totally relying on you for everything." This is talking about the glass people putting in the glass, the excavating, the underground work, as far as the wiring and everything, which we had already. All of this work was falling on me. And I want to tell you, I remember they said the hardest job you're going to have here is what they call the tote board, which is the thing that goes in the infield that gives all the scores, because everything has to be lined up perfectly for all these pre-done things to plug in. And I said, "Father, I don't know how to ever do this." I put out a thing in the newspaper, and 2 people came in, young men, right out of nowhere. They came in and they said, "You need some help here?" And I told them, "Yes, this is what we got." And I opened up the whole blueprint of the tote board. They said, "We can do that." And I said, "You can?" I says, "You got the job." They went out and in 2 days, and get this, it's like 150 feet long, and all of these things got to be within the 1/4 inch, everything. They had it done in 2.5 to 3 days, all laid out, everything ready to plug in. I said, "How in the world did you possibly do this?" They said, "It's just there, it's no problem." and no one else could figure out how they did this so fast. So all of this was done, and I give all the glory to the Lord because they had to leave. I couldn't keep them. They had to go because they had another project. I looked at them as two angels, just dropped in, took care of this project, and left. That was the toughest project of the whole place, and it was done. This is how God just worked over and over and over. Well, guess what? We did make it. In 6 months, the whole thing did open on the 4th of July. It was awesome. It was awesome.